Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Anya with Restream team, and today with me is Matt. How are you?
Hey, everyone. Doing really great. Excited to be here. How you doing?
Very, very good. I am super excited about our topic today. We are going to talk about some exciting ways to manage Restream through your favorite AI assistants, such as Claude and ChatGPT. We're going to show you a ton of cool things. So there will be some demos and some video guides. So this is actually a demo day today, not our usual chit chat, but it is, as always, super focused on your questions. So be sure to check in our chat, share what kind of streams you do, what kind of content you create, and most importantly, at first, let us know where in the world are you watching from so we can get this started. So yeah, definitely we will allocate a bunch of time for questions, and this is primarily driven by audience. But yeah, we do have a few things to show you that I think is going to be very exciting. We are live on a bunch of channels today. It's over 20. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Instagram, and a ton of paired channels of our friends and coworkers, which is something you can do with Restream Studio. You can invite your guests and your team to pair and amplify your events. And this is one of those events that we really wanted to amplify because this is cool new stuff that we just shipped, and we can't wait to share it with everybody. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. We are actively growing our YouTube channel and can't wait to reach 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, please do that. And if you're watching us somewhere else, make sure to follow because we have a lot of cool content every week, every Wednesday, live with our product team, with our marketing team, with our producers, lots of streaming tips and like just ways to improve your content. Well, let's go ahead and see who is checking in the chat. Whoa, we didn't synchronize that. But we have a lot. This is actually also one of my favorite features in Restream Studio, that you can like literally overlay the whole thing on top of the screen. And let's see who is in today. All right, Circuits FM is checking in. I say Willie Fantastic is checking in from Austin, Texas. That is where I am based. Hi, Willie. Good to see you here. Love this, says Better Calzal. Sean is checking in from LinkedIn. Hi, good to see you here. Can I highlight people on top of this chat? I can. That is cool. Love this. Yay. Natalie is checking in from YouTube. She is our moderator today. First time. Welcome to the club. Thanks for moderating for us. Willie from Austin, Circuits FM. So we still don't have the emojis in chats. Little remander for the product team. I wonder how this will work. Yeah, that's a long one. Absolutely. John 8 says, I wonder how this will work and can't wait to do it all. Yes, we will show you exactly how this all works. This is the demo day, so stick around for that one. Can't wait to see this. This is really good comment. You guys are hyped up. Like the chat is running. I love that. And good morning from foggy San Francisco. That is our Charles. Good to see you here. Hi. And Circuit FM says, good morning. Let's go. All right. Oh, checking in from Kansas City. I love when you guys tell us where you are because like it kind of gives us a nice little geographical orientation of where you're watching. Albachok, our head of product, says hello and shining stars. The chat feature is mainstay for my live stream. I know, I love chat features so much, but we totally need to fix those emojis because it is about time. And hello from incredibly sunny London. That is Romario. That is awesome. Our clips lead. All right, so I'm in Austin, Texas. Matt, where are you today? I mean, I have an idea, but I'm going to tell them.
As usual, I'm in Prague, in Czech Republic, the heart of Europe, as we like to call it.
The heart of Europe. That is beautiful. All right, let's just jump right into it. So today we are talking about Restream MCP Server. And what does that mean for our creator community, Matt?
Yeah, so we're super excited about this one. As Ian just mentioned, we're launching an MCP server. What this really allows you to do is automate lots of repetitive things in your streaming workflow. So finally, you can talk to Restream in natural language like you would to a colleague from Claude or ChatGPT or any other app like Cursor or Codex that can talk to a MCP server. And it can do lots of things inside Restream for you. You can actually perform actions, not just like read things, but really like do things for you. And yeah, I think we're going to show you all about that. This is really just a little teaser of what it all can do.
I am very proud of this animation because it's very fun. But actually, yeah, for people who are relatively new to all this AI workflows, what I really want for you guys to kind of understand is that all of us as creators probably very proactively use ChatGPT and Claude. At least for me, whenever I prepare streams, whenever I prepare content, whenever I prepare any kind of materials that talk about Restream and creator community, I spend a ton of time in Claude and sometimes in ChatGPT and sometimes in other AI assistant platforms, practically primarily researching the content, right? I'm asking questions. What topics should we talk about? What kind of angles do we need to do? I'm scripting there. I'm researching my guest. I'm asking for potential notes and links and relevant news and market updates that are relevant to what we're going to be talking about. All right. So since that's already a major part of my day, just kind of like looking for the information and using that as primary assistant and research tool, the revolution here is that now I don't have to leave that tool. I do not have to stop my workflow of working and building and creating content and like visualizing what I can imagine and what I want to tell my community, my customers, my viewers. I can immediately from there tell my Claude and my ChatGPT to create an event, to pull off some analytics, to grab that last recording, to create some clips from my last live streaming session, or analyze how my stream performed compared to the one that I had before. And all of those superpowers are now available for me in the space where I exist, think, create, research, right? And this is what I believe is Restream's unique advantage. As of today, we didn't look today. We had this conversation during our prep. As of today, I'm not aware of any other live streaming platform or any live streaming tool that does have this capability that integrates with Claude or ChatGPT and allows those tools, those AI assistants to perform tasks and control certain functions in the live streaming platform. If you know of one, let us know. We're not afraid of competitors. But as of today, I do believe that that is unique Restream's advantage. So if you're spending a lot of time in AI tools, Restream might as well be your easiest path to starting to stream. And we are going to let Charles, our video producer, to show you his process in the video guide that shows you exactly how Restream MCP Server is going to work and how he uses it for his day-to-day. So let's hear from Charles.
You're probably already using AI in your workflow, but you could be doing so much more. And it starts with the Restream MCP Server. MCP is an open standard built specifically for AI assistants, letting them discover and use online platforms. They can control services and carry out tasks on your behalf without you needing to click around yourself. Setup of Restream's MCP is essentially a single line of text with a link, which you'll find in the description below. You'll need to add it as a custom connector in ChatGPT, Claude, or any other service that can work with an MCP. Honestly, I asked Claude what to do and it walked me through the process, so if this is new to you, maybe do the same. You'll be asked to sign into Restream, approve the connections, and you're done. Nothing is being installed anywhere, it's just a secure connection that lets your AI assistant manage some Restream functions. It has no access to passwords or stream keys, and if you choose to remove a channel through a chat, it only disconnects from Restream. Nothing touches your social platforms. Alright, this is me chatting with my assistant looking into this week's topic. Once I had my notes and felt ready, I said, please duplicate my last Restream Studio draft, add YouTube, Twitch and X, give it a title and description based on this conversation, and schedule it for Wednesday at 9 AM. The assistant asked for some permissions and some clarifying questions, and then it reported back when it was done. And look at that, my stream is ready to go. Now, I wanted a change, so I went back and said, make the title and descriptions hit harder with SEO, and it updated with something new. So all I need to do now is show up for the stream. Now you can take this even further and schedule things to run every week using ChatGPT tasks, Claude Cowork, or a similar Colab platform. I've just set mine up to run every Wednesday after we stream. It creates a summary of viewer analytics and live chat. Then it uses this to suggest topics and improvements for next week's show. It will also check if I've already turned last week's show into clips, make them for me if I haven't, and send me download links for both the recording and any clips, so I never forget to keep them safe. This isn't about replacing what I do, but protecting my time and mental flow. When I'm researching and creating around a subject, I just tell my assistant to set up a stream about it. No switching tabs, no logging in, no broken focus. If you're already using the Restream MCP server, comment what you're asking it to do and subscribe, because studio controls are coming with a lot more behind them. Cheers.
That was a fun, quick overview. I really like that. Basically, it shows you the whole flow and the whole process. And I hear that Charles mentioned that you can actually task your AI assistant to make sure that you save the recordings, so you keep them safe. That is actually referring to the fact that recordings do expire in Restream eventually. And if you set up this automation, you don't have to worry about that ever. So that is a really cool little nugget right there. There are some questions in the chat that we will be taking for sure after we demonstrate a few other capabilities in practice. But yeah, that's basically the overview of what you can do with those tools. Matt, I believe you did run some numbers and you know what are the most common things so far, even though we just launched it brand new. What do our users do most of the time these days with Claude and ChatGPT when they connect to Restream?
So far, it's really two things. I would say, 1 second, I think my camera is acting up.
Here you go.
Is this better? Is this better?
Yeah, look great.
All right.
Looking good.
Yeah, I think, I'm using the continuity camera, and sometimes like when you lean in, it like blurs out. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
But long story short, people use it around their streaming production, right? I think Charles had this nice story of how he's preparing. So he's preparing and researching for the stream, and then you go live, and then you analyze. And so it's this like cycle of preparation, production itself, and then like post-production and analysis. And I think where it really shines, and that we're seeing also from the data, is the prep and the analysis. So like in the analysis part, people just really request those recordings so they don't lose them, and they check their analytics. Those are like really the key actions when the stream ends. And before it starts, I would maybe summarize it as sort of like health checks. So you can check what streams are already scheduled, because Restream is not a solo product, right? We also have production teams really, and you can pretty much just get a very good overview of like what's scheduled ahead, what's coming up. You can see all the streams coming up. Where are they going? Like, what are the titles? What are the channels that you're going to go live with? So these like sort of checks and verifications, we see that quite a bit already. It's still pretty early, so we're waiting for you to also try it out and learn from that, hopefully. But yeah, I would say that in these two areas, like before you go live and after, this is where it's most useful right now.
Yeah, I really like that you can check the channels and you can check like what's already scheduled. Because if you're thinking about something like our show that is pretty structured and it's once a week, a lot of people are running multiple shows for multiple different customers, for multiple different teams, right? Like, and in that case, being able to do that quick check as you're starting your week, you're starting your day is super, super helpful. Over here to my side, because depending on how you look that way, we do have a quick summary of what is possible with this automation as of today. So there are capabilities with scheduling events and controlling your destinations and channels, analytics, which we'll also dive in a little deeper in just a minute here, and brand new clips. The clips integration is so new that if you look at this image, you will see that we even had them incoming soon and we forgot to remove them. Totally my bad, but something that just kind of, I think, speaks to how quickly we add on certain things to this integrations and automations. And even as we were preparing for this show, the clips were not ready yet, and now they are. So that is to say that the integration and the automations that we are building for you are continuing to grow, and more is coming soon. And of course, we are listening to our community. And if there's something that you would like to be able to control and Restream from your ChatGPT or Claude, let us know. We would love to see what would be helpful and useful to you, and then we'll prioritize accordingly. So I am going to go ahead and show a quick screencast on how to connect your ChatGPT or Claude to Restream. So Matt, feel free to walk people through and pay attention and like give a little notes on like what is super important. But the process is pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think the hardest part is really to find the settings inside Claude or ChatGPT. And there you will, in ChatGPT, it's called apps. In Claude, it's called connectors. You will basically find that section in your settings and then click add a new one. Once you add a custom connector, you really need to fill in 2 fields. So name it, Restream, that's what we're called, and paste in this mcp.restreamio/mcp link. Basically, once it connects, it asks for your permission to authenticate with your Restream account. So whatever account you currently logged into in your browser, that it will connect to. And that's pretty much it. If you're doing that in your browser, I think we've seen that you can also open the desktop app right after, and whether you use Claude or ChatGPT on the browser or in desktop, you can just start using it really. So in any chat, you then right after this, and we'll have a video for that as well, but once you're done with this, you just open a new chat and you say, connect to Restream and start asking questions. It's actually, you don't even need to say connect to Restream because it's already connected, but you can already perform natural language operations, start asking about what's up with your streams, what do you have? And kind of keep going from there. We'll show, I think, a couple of really interesting use cases around scheduling and planning and analytics as well. If you struggle with the setup, it's very straightforward, but you can always reach out to our support. We'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, and you only need to do it once. So it looks like a few steps, but you only do it once. And once you did it, that's good. There was one little nuance that we wanted to point out, that if you have multiple workspaces and if you have multiple different accounts, you might have to reconnect depending on if you're switching a lot, which in our situation, we sometimes do because we have this live show workspace and then we have some others. So that's one thing to consider if you're giant team. But for most of us who are just using individual Restream account and individual account on those AI assistants, it's one and done, right? Set it and forget it. Very, very cool. So let's go ahead and have a look. And by the way, if you're already using this, we know that we have creators who are already connected. They're Claude and ChatGPT. And if you have any experience, any anecdotes, any things that you have already done or asked your Claude or ChatGPT to do, please drop it in the comments, because we would like to hear your real-time use cases. So we'll definitely shout you out. So let us know in the chat. All right. So one of the cool use cases is how to create your event.
Right. I think I can also quickly walk through this. So, you can pretty much do this in 2 ways. You can start a fresh new draft like you would in Restream, and really just start from scratch and experiment with that. What's really nice about that is that it's a fresh new draft, so you're not changing anything existing. Or you can actually look up your existing setups and just say what streams are on my account. It's going to list them. Pick the one that you like and start making changes to it. For example, you can schedule it, like in this video, for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Or you can unschedule it if it's already scheduled, maybe, and you're not ready to go live. So all of these things around the prep, you can definitely automate. Folks, I think it's important to say that we're starting with very small use cases, not to overwhelm you, but we will sort of go towards much more ambitious and autonomous tasks down the stream. So please keep watching. This is really just scraping the surface of what we can do. I think you muted,
I am. You're right. I think the next thing we want to definitely share is, Charles kind of touched on that a little bit in the guide, but I believe that creating or scheduling a stream is probably, you're right, Matt, is one of the most simple things you can do, right? It's not that hard to do. But what is really cool is that once your stream is over, that's not the end of your live stream, right? There's a lot of work that happens with repurposing, with analyzing, with learning from what happened during the live show. And that's where getting analytics from your Restream account through Claude becomes a very different experience. Our analytics are pretty robust. There's a lot of data you can use. There's also Ask AI function that already is built into Restream. But of course, if you're constantly using Claude and you have a lot of kind of like presets and a lot of things that you already work on there, you can ask deeper questions and you can get like way more out of it. So this is one of the examples how you could do it. So yeah, Matt, I would love to hear your thoughts on how you can superpower your analytics.
I think this is extremely useful when you do reporting of your, maybe your social media manager, and you're reporting on your live streams, and you really need to show impact. Our analytics are great for that. You can check viewers, stats about chat, how people were engaged, when and from which platforms they share their comments, etc. You can also check the stability of your stream and so on. But some people have been asking us, what about exporting the analytics? We can already share them, by the way. That's pretty recent. You can share them via link. But what if you really want to export it as a report, and we don't really know what type of reporting you're using? So this is actually a way for you to grab the data for you, and you can build an automation in Claude or ChatGPT on top of it that basically checks the data, grabs it, and exports it in a CSV, or it can send it somewhere that is connected also to your Claude. So I think automating the reporting task is one thing, and another one is sort of having a good benchmark, comparing the data between stream sessions. So for example, if you are talking to your AI assistant and you ask about yesterday's stream, and it tells you, hey, it had 1,000 views, you only know if that's great or not if you compare it to some sort of baseline. So you could ask it, all right, 10,000 views, that's nice, but what about the stream in the previous week, right? How does it stand against it? So this way you can get a very easy lens of comparing whatever you want to compare. Of course, you can do some of these things inside Restream as well, but if you work with data and numbers and you really just want to drill it down, this tends to be much faster, actually. So yeah, please try it. We'd love to see if this is working for you, if there's any data points that you might be missing, or the ones that you're actually most interested in. In general, I find it super useful that you can just go ahead and ask a question without having to click around, but it's just me.
It's not just you. Honestly, I think, especially when it comes to post-production and analyzing and asking deep questions, one of the examples, I think, we were brainstorming with Charles when we were talking about analytics and what kind of questions can you ask? Because in Claude, you just have a lot more context. Most likely you had contextual conversations about brainstorming the previous stream. So when you're comparing those streams, at least for me, that's one of my workflows, right? The first thing I do after I'm done with the live show, I go to analytics and see what happened, right? What worked, what didn't work, what was the sentiment in the chat, what kind of questions, what did we miss, what can become potentially the next reason for content, right? It could be a post, it could be a blog article, it could be improvement for a help center. Lots and lots of things are coming from these conversations. And when I can put this all together, compare the streams, and give Claude the data on both, just mathematical stuff, right? This had more views, this had more chatters. What kind of content should we do? What kind of angles? What kind of titles perform better when we're scheduling our stream? Should we differentiate titles between our paired channels? Should we alternate titles between YouTube and X, right? Will different title perform better? All of those complicated things, which you could potentially do in Restream's Ask AI analytics, is just kind of cumbersome to do it there. Versus if you grab all this information and bring it right into your AI assistant platform, you can just do it. So you can do so much more, and then you can again right from there start tasking, scheduling, and basically continue your work while you're still chatting with your supercomputer, with your robot, right? So
yeah. The context is just bigger, right?
The context is a lot bigger for sure. I would like to take some questions, and I would like to continue to encourage you guys to share your ideas in chat. What kind of tasks, what kind of things would you like your ChatGPT or Claude to do in Restream for you? What kind of things would you like to ask with plain English language? and be able to accomplish that in Restream. We are thinking about the future right now. This is literally potentially shaping our roadmap. So don't be shy. Share your craziest ideas. We would love to see what you are envisioning. What are you dreaming of when it comes to AI controlling and assisting you with streaming? So some really good questions. First of all, I'm just going to take this one from Daniel. Codex and Cursor work as well, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I think even VS Code and other applications that can talk to an MCP server. It sounds kind of technical, but it's really not. Like there's, of course, like code ID editors where you would connect it, like Cursor and VS Code. But most of all, we've seen people just hook it up with their Claude and ChatGPT. In general, whatever talks to MCP server talks to MCP server done by Restream. So you can try that.
Do we plan to expand models? I know that some people like to use Gemini. Is that something that we're looking into, or is it going to be primarily?
So this is not necessarily about the model. It's more about the application itself. So the application is using some model that is doing the reasoning, and the MCP tool is doing the real work. So it's basically contacting Restream and doing the actions for you. It's really like the assistant. And what makes this powerful is that the AI is doing the reasoning. So, Claude, obviously very powerful. It can help you research stuff and so on. And then it helps you either, as Charles showed us, create better titles or ask better questions or analyze things better, strategize a little bit. So it's like the application and then the MCP. The model is just an AI LLM that basically can be different in all these apps. So for example, ChatGPT can be using various models, but it can still talk to an MCP, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Love it. Some feedback as well. Kings and Queens Entertainment is saying, good afternoon. This concept is really nice to see, using AI to automate. Whoa, sounds technical, but I'm sure the agents are great help. And actually, after watching our demo, Kings and Queens Entertainment says super easy. It is actually super easy. You do not have to be technical. You do not need developer support or any kind of like super deep dive knowledge about how to do it. If you are comfortable using something like ChatGPT or Claude, you are absolutely capable of setting this up. And interestingly, in the video guide Charles even showed, if you're not sure, you can actually just ask your AI agent to walk you through the process. If you don't want to necessarily like follow the steps in our guide, you can just say, hey, I want to connect Restream to this. How do I do that? And it's going to give you the exact steps. So the power of conversational AI assistance. All right. Good question from Super Cheerio. Can I programmatically add a destination such as YouTube and LinkedIn via MCP? Because that's something I can do with your API. I can create the event, but the link on YouTube, LinkedIn can't be created. That's a. I mean, I get that question. I'm not sure. Can we do that now, or is it something we're planning?
I think like you could literally just enable those channels and schedule. This creates a post on those end platforms. So this way, yes, you could.
Okay, you can add a destination. Okay, awesome.
Just make sure it's enabled, right? So once the channel exists in your account, we cannot like run the authentication for you. That's important to say, that like your LinkedIn or YouTube already needs to be connected to your Restream account. We can check it's like whether it's healthy, it's not expired or things like that. We can disconnect it. We cannot connect it through the MCP, but once it's connected, we can do things with it, such as enable it, disable it, schedule it, update the titles, and so on. And if we even like schedule recordings, for example, this way the stream will just automatically land on those destinations, right? So yeah, a lot can be done programmatically. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah. So once anything that requires login and authentication is taken care of. So once you created a Restream account, once you added the channel and like basically allowed Restream access to that channels, then once you allow your Claude or ChatGPT access to Restream, then that becomes basically a flow.
Yeah. This is not meant to like replace Restream. It's meant to like accompany it for the most tedious and like repetitive tasks. Yeah, so I hope that like where it comes in, that becomes a bit more clear now.
That totally helps. Daniel, again, which Restream subscription is required for the MCP access?
None. You can use it even on the free plan.
That's a good one. I wanted you to say that because usually I talk about money. It is definitely beneficial for you to have a Restream subscription in order to do more at Restream. For example, to unlock recordings, to unlock additional channels, to be able to clip, you will need one of our advanced plans, and it's just going to give you a richer experience with your assistant if you can do more things with Restream. But if you simply want to create an event or enable your 2 free channels, you can do it without any subscription at all. Good stuff. Good to know. Question from Breezy. Could I set up Claude or ChatGPT to answer or react to comments requests in real time while I'm streaming a live gig? It's difficult answering messages while I'm playing and singing. I love this use case personally. I'm a huge fan of musical creators who use Restream to perform live and take songs requests or any kind of like stuff from chat, right? The commentary from chat, and like that shapes their either practice or performance. We actually saw that recently on Coachella, right? When Justin Bieber basically took, it was like the last song, and he took it from YouTube chat in terms of what song he should sing. So I think this is beautiful, super empowering, and musical creators definitely should use live as much as possible because that's the best way for them to get in front of the larger audiences. Is that something you can do, or is it something you will be able to do in the future? I love that.
I think this is a brilliant idea for a roadmap. So not yet, but I would also love to, automate the chat moderation. So definitely putting that on our idea board. That's a really good one.
Absolutely. And if you want to help us out, I would encourage you to go to ideas.restream.io and submit it there. It is possible that something similar already exists, and please upvote it. We do look at ideas in Restream, our feature requests daily. Product team looks every day. I look every other day just to make sure that we provide the educational resources for features that are requested that already exist, because that happens too. So please make sure to let us know that that's important to you, and we will look into it. But great idea, great feature. Just as a reminder, ability to control your chat comments, react to them from Claude or ChatGPT. I would totally use that also for, just like encouraging people to share things like, hey, where are you watching from? Or like dropping links in the chat, this kind of things. Question from Michael. How about Google Gemini? Is it compatible? So that's kind of what I asked. Like if people are using Gemini, like what is their path? I guess because we keep mentioning Claude and ChatGPT. What is the best way for them to take advantage of this integration?
I think so. Literally checking on the fly right now the Gemini documentation.
Yeah.
But it does work with MCP Server, so it should be possible. I just haven't tested, to be honest, because I must admit I spent most of my time in Claude or ChatGPT. But Gemini is also very powerful, so try it. That's the best way to do it. I think you can go ahead and try it right now. It's that easy. Just paste the link in the setup. Probably go to some settings and find connectors or apps, and try to connect the MCP URL there. And let us know if it works for you. I hope it should.
Yeah, and again, if you take that link that we showed earlier, let me actually bring this up one more time. It's pretty simple. It's just mcp.restream.io/mcp. You can actually drop it in Gemini and say, hey, how can I connect to this? And actually, most of AI assistants will walk you through the process if it is compatible. So that's another little hack. If you're using something different from what we're demoing. Yeah, go ahead.
I think maybe I'll just quickly edit the caption here as well. Add a little secondary text here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So please go to this address at our developer portal. That's a mouthful. And find the MCP server documentation there. It basically tells you how to connect to various clients, to various apps. And you can do it even through terminal. and hopefully like this could help you while trying to set it up with Gemini. I would add that the address might need like an HTTPS in the beginning before the MCP of what we're showing here when you're trying to paste it there. So the best thing to do is really copy paste the address from our docs or our help center. We have it in various places. Once again, I'll try to edit it on top as well to kind of show you what I mean, like this. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if you paste this URL, it should really work. But please let us know.
Awesome. And we are already receiving some feedback from people who are testing it as we go. I'm connected to Restream via Claude. Just ran a successful test confirming recent connected channel and recent activity. That is really good to hear. This is my favorite part about live streams is when people are testing in in real time. Yeah, like, okay, it worked. And it works. And thanks for sharing. Let us know at Circuits FM what kind of task I see that it connected channels. What kind of recent activity did it give to you? And that also helps us to understand like what kind of use cases. What are you guys asking? Are you asking for analytics? Are you asking for recordings? Are you asking for something else? Chatters maybe. Anything you do in those tools, let us know because that will help us to create more educational materials and more ways to help people understand how to use and benefit from those features and updates. Very cool. Question about clips. I'm going to take it because it's kind of like a nice segue about how clips can also be controlled through Claude and ChatGPT as of this Monday. I created 7 clips and wanted to know if the clips feature of a new project is the best way to stream them. So when you created clips, maybe you need to really clarify this because if you created clips from a stream or a video that you uploaded to Restream, the goal there is not to stream those clips, but to post them as shorts, TikToks, maybe reels on Facebook, right? Like, so you're creating those clips as a repurposing of live content. If you are referring to live clips, that's another wonderful feature that we have that you can actually see in action right now because our team, Romario and his team, are clipping us live as we speak. So live clipping means that while you are doing your demo, while you're doing your interview or your podcast, we create clips automatically, and then you can either have your co-producer to review them and post them while you're still live, basically funneling people back into your main event, your main show, or you can even, as of recently, turn on auto posting, basically say, I trust Restream to automatically ship and publish these clips on these specific channels if those clips meet a certain criteria. The criteria would be the duration of the clip, certain virality score, the dimensions of that clip, like you want them vertical or square. And then once these clips meet that criteria, would just automatically post them for you. So you do not even need a co-producer or behind the scene person on clips. So if you're asking about that, so live clipping is the best way to do it. And a live clipping will create a separate project for you once you start your stream. If you're asking about what happens after you created 7 clips from a video that you recorded or streamed on Restream, then yes, that will also be a separate project. You can review them and then you can post them manually. I hope that helps. Let us know if you need to clarify something. And then was a quick question about how to reach out to Restream team to have someone on the podcast. The best way probably to find us online. So both Matt and I are on X, and we also have LinkedIn accounts. So if you just go to Restream page and follow it, wherever you find us, you should be able to find us there. Both Matt and I are pretty prominent on both X and LinkedIn. So you can DM us, share your podcast, what kind of content you do, what kind of audience you reach, and we will have a look. And yeah, if that fits our expertise and the size of audiences is large, I would love to. I would absolutely be happy to support the podcast of our creators. So let me know. Let me know what you're podcasting about. Good stuff. I wanted to also show on the clips side of things, I'm going to show real quick the prompt that you could create in order to automatically ask your Claude or ChatGPT to create clips from a recent stream. So we don't have like a full-blown screencasts yet, because again, that feature is so new. But this is an example of something that that you could do, and I'm actually going to probably just maximize it so you can see it a little better. So basically, you just tell, in this case, Claude, take my last stream recording and turn it into clips. It gives you a little bit of like head ups and like some information, but in the end of the day, it will ask you for some clarification, especially if you have multiple different recordings. And then once you confirm what you wanted to do, it's just going to say, okay, clip project kicked off. We're processing right now. It's generating, and once it's ready, you can check it out. So that is pretty cool because that is especially good if you are kind of like working through the stream after you're done with your live show, and you're doing like a bunch of different tasks for post-production. Like, hey, I want to make clips. I want to download the recording. I want to analyze my analytics. I want to look at my data. I want to start brainstorming something that I'm going to do next based on the questions that I missed, or maybe the most exciting questions. What was the peak time when the viewers were especially excited? Could that become a content? Is that a gap in my marketing or educational materials? So while you're doing all those things, you can immediately say, oh, and by the way, let's clip it. So that's pretty fun. And of course, more functionality is coming to clips. Quick, I guess, promotion. Next week, Romario, our product manager from Restream Clips, and I will be live here to share a lot of updates that we did for clips in the past couple of months. And of course, we will demonstrate how to control clips from your Claude and ChatGPT as well. So if you want to learn more, if you want to see the real demo, if you have already tried that and have questions, next Wednesday, we should see you live right here on all social channels. Before we take more questions, which we encourage you to continue asking and sharing your ideas, your thoughts, your dreams. How would you use Claude and ChatGPT with Restream? What would you like to control? What would you like to tell your AI assistants to do? We're going to show you a few things about how you can actually create recurrent tasks in Claude and ChatGPT in order to truly power use AI assistant with your video production process and workflow.
All right. Yeah, so this is where all the power really comes in, I would say. You know, Claude, ChatGPT, all these apps are called assistants. And I think where they really shine is not necessarily like replacing your creativity, but rather like assisting you with the tedious and repetitive tasks, right? And I think their product teams realized this early on, and fairly recently they added like scheduling of jobs or tasks. This is a feature that's available both in ChatGPT and in Claude, and you can basically schedule any sort of task that can be automated and let it happen on a given basis, right? So what I like about this image is that it shows some ideas from ChatGPT, like what it recommends you to check. For example, you might be checking concert alerts or like flight tickets, or kind of having weekend activity ideas every week. Or if you're running a live stream production show, you could be checking your past streams like I was trying to do in this case. So for example, let's imagine that you stream every day around 3 p.m. By 4, maybe 5, you're definitely done. So at 6 p.m., you could set up this recurring tasks for every day for ChatGPT in this case, to look at your restream count, look at the past stream, and check it really, and try to learn from it. And it can learn from the analytics, for example. So you could set up some sort of rules very easily. So for example, if your live stream reached a certain threshold, like 100 total views in this case, for example, you might be considering that pretty decent. So if the stream performed well, we know that it's a great signal for repurposing. So you could automate a bunch of steps just based on this information, right? For example, turn it into clips, just how Anya showed you, that you can basically target a specific stream, its video, and then chop it down to like repurposed clips that can be posted later. You can also, do a backup every single time. So for example, if you want to like export your recordings to like Google Drive, for example. We've heard that a lot. You could set up an automation that basically like takes the download link, it downloads it to your computer, and then if you have a connection to some storages, you could automatically upload it there, right? I imagine, for example, I know that Charles is backing up our streams this way every single week. So now he can actually automate this type of stuff. And what's really powerful is that it's not like, so to say, dumb. It's pretty smart in terms of like the data, right? So it would only perform this action if that threshold was reached. If it was just like, 20 views, or maybe like it was not your day and you didn't perform that well, you might not want to like repurpose it into clips or do a replay another day. So you can set these sort of rules for yourself, and based on them, run these automations. I think on another scene, we have one more example with the replay scheduler. That's just like how I call this task in Claude. So this has already been created. It's in the list of my scheduled tasks. You can see that it runs every day at 6 p.m. And it's the same thing, but instead of like turning it into clips and maybe like grabbing the recording, it's actually doing a replay, right? So you can just like take the best performing stream, for example, if you stream every day, and then like you run this job every week, you pick the best stream from the week, and that gets a replay, right? For example, as a highlight. So this way you can like very easily reschedule it. You might be also experimenting with different channels. So for example, in some channels where your audience is very active, you go live, like really live with Restream Studio. On other channels that you maybe are not so active at, but you still want to keep, you just want that replay stream to play there to kind of, stay consistent. And this way you can really do that, because like you maybe went live on YouTube and X, like we are right now, but the replay could go live on LinkedIn and Facebook, for example. And all of this could be not only automated, but also like okay, I'm not going to use that word. You could come up with some sort of strategy for that with AI reasoning, right? Because this is sort of a wild guess that I like quickly came up with, that maybe from 7 streams, pick the best one and schedule it there. But with the context of Claude, you could actually have a conversation about it and like, I'm thinking about repurposing my content. What is the best way to do it? And then once like Claude advises you the best strategy, then you set it up as a scheduled task and experiment with it. Let it run for 2 weeks. Then again, use Claude to pull the analytics. And you can see that this is a whole new growth tactic, strategy, shall I say, for live streaming, especially if you're serious about it. So yeah, I think again, my imagination runs short of probably what's possible, especially if you connect other things to Claude. There's, for example, an integration that you could build more automations, or you could hook it up with any sort of system that you use for content repurposing, or like scheduling, or backing up your information, and so on. So this is really what's possible right now, and let us know if you use these recurring jobs, and we'd love to know how you use them.
Yeah, it really becomes a whole workflow for you. And again, as a reminder, I said it in the beginning, no other live streaming tool does that to the best of our knowledge right now. So no other live streaming platforms or software that you can use to create podcasts, to record, to stream, allow you this kind of workflows. So that is a massive advantage, because you can use the power of AI to analyze, to improve, to find the best topics, to find the best ways to delight your audience, your existing community, and to grow your channels by using this fully automated. And the more you do that in a recurrent task setting like this one, that Matt just demonstrated, the more it becomes a habit and the more context your AI assistant gets, and the better it gets with time in recommending best topics and recommending best ways and best strategies. And I do see a few comments in the chat that I really want to take because they're so cool. Circuit FM gives us a great use case, like very much in line with what we just talked about. I first ran the test connecting to Restream, which returned the most recent activity, in example, video titles. And then second, I audited those titles using a vidIQ connector. I love vidIQ because it's a great tool that helps you to research the SEO optimized,
awesome.
and like it gives you like tips of like, hey, if you add these tags, this YouTube video will probably get more exposure, and then kind of stuff. We use it internal all the time, and this is an epic example of how you could totally streamline this process. And little tweaks like titles, people forget about those things, right, Matt? People think about big epic technical things like you can like stream to more channels, like different resolutions, vertical and horizontal at the same time, which is all the things that Restream can do, both Restream Studio and Restream plugin. But little things like titling it right, hitting the right keywords.
It's the gates. It's the gates to your stream, right?
It is the gate to your stream, and this is the game changer. Why small podcasts sometimes blows up and very established podcast ends up with just a few dozen viewers is because they didn't get the title right, because they didn't hit the SEO right, because they didn't do the timing right. And all of those things, including the timing, like we get these questions all the time here. What is the best time to stream? Well, it depends. Ask your AI based on the analytics, based on your data, based on what your vidIQ is recommending, right? And like put it all together, and then make those decisions based on data and test, and also keep track of those tests. That's like literally the best way for you to optimize all these things and to grow faster. Because in the end of the day, you can do it all yourself, right? But like let computers process large chunks of numbers and do the heavy lifting for you. I love this use case, Circuit FM. Thank you so much for sharing. If anyone else has a similar example of how they already use the MCP server and did something useful and cool, please drop it in the chat right now. We would love to highlight that as well. There's a quick comment on the clips. You said something about clips. So it's auto posting. So basically automated posting. So right now, before right now, when you create live clips, you needed a person or you had to do it yourself to basically approve and say, I want to publish this live clip while I'm still streaming. It's extremely hard to do because especially if you're doing something like what we do here, I talk all the time. When I don't talk, I read your questions. When I don't read your questions, I make notes for my co-producer and our awesome mods. So I do not necessarily have time to go into the clips project and review clips. And especially it will be pretty much impossible for me to watch the clip before I post it while I'm still talking to you guys. So automatic posting allows you to say, hey, publish without I give you permission to publish. And that allows you to create this loop of live clips leading to your live stream without any additional assistance. It's perfect for small teams and one girl or one man shows when you don't have extra hands to do that work for you. So that is what we mentioned earlier. And there will be a whole dedicated stream about that next Wednesday. So don't miss that one. And then speaking of modes, right? Better Kelzal is saying, love a good mod in the chat. Natalie, shout out to you. It makes a huge difference. I agree. Daniel is asking a question. I streamed on TikTok via Restream earlier, and messages from TikTok haven't been integrated into the overall chat window. Is that a common issue? Unfortunately, it's not an issue. It is just the integration limitation. Currently, TikTok does not have an API for chat, so no other third-party applications or tools allow you to fetch those chat messages. The workaround is similar to Instagram. You basically have this separate tab open, and then you can see the comments from your TikTok account. If you do have manpower and can have a moderator to watch your TikTok chats and then transition them into your Stream Studio as private chats, that's another way to do it. That's basically throwing body on the situation. But currently, TikTok is the one that does not allow that. They don't open their API for chats. We've been working with their team as the best we could. That's something that we recommend bringing up to them because we know that a lot of creators need that. But it's not an issue. It's not a bug. It's just the limitation of API. There are a few channels that work in a similar way. Instagram and TikTok are two most popular probably that don't have chat as of right now. And the workaround is to have that separate tab there. All right. And just ran a vid SEO comparison on my most recent titles against top performing titles in my niche. That is another top move, right? Like I really love that. So basically you can tell your Claude or ChatGPT to fetch the titles for your streams automatically, right? Like you don't have to go to Restream dashboard and just copy them and just like put them all together. You know what kind of industry you're in. Circuits FM is probably radio, as far as I remember, like music radio, kind of like always on type content. You can ask your AI to compare with similar channels and be like, hey, what am I missing? What are those people titling their stuff like? What is their description? Are they linking? Are they hashtagging things? And I think that's a really cool power use case, right? And it applies to tech teams as well. Like if we're talking about MCP Server, if we're talking about how to connect your AI assistant to certain tools, we could easily ask AI. I'm actually literally going to do that. Like, making a mental note. Like, what are other tech teams who are talking about MCP servers and like these connections pointing out with their tools? And that tool doesn't necessarily have to be in live streaming area, right? There's no other tool that does that. But maybe in something, maybe design tools, maybe some other tools that you can also use MCP for. Like, what angles are they taking? What are they talking about? What are their community is asking based on comments and like public videos that we can find. So really, really good one. Circuit FM, you should be a guest on our podcast. You clearly know your stuff. I love that. All right, a few more questions here. Michael is saying, I have found that if you post on LinkedIn, you get views weeks, sometimes a month later. You may only get 5 people on the broadcast. So that's true. Sometimes your live show has less views than your replay. And especially true for LinkedIn because they have weird discoverability settings there. So on YouTube, for example, most of the views are, well, actually not really. I would say even YouTube, like replay, sometimes gives you a lot of extra views. And on X, the impressions grow like crazy after the show is over. So I'm curious, like I'm trying to connect this to asking your Claude, right? Like, so you basically can fetch analytics. We in Restream dashboard or in the Restream analytics will give you live views only. Is that right, Matt? We don't update that information as the replay views pop up, right? Like we're basically, our analytics sit on what you actually had live. But you can absolutely ask your ChatGPT or your Claude if you give it access to your YouTube to say, hey, how did my replay views look? What added? Like what was the delta, right? Like do I really have a ton more people coming and watch replay versus people who show up live? Or like what is that ratio like? And that will inform how you stream. For us, we are laser. Yeah, absolutely. Like the style of our streaming is that we laser focus on our live viewers, right? Like we want to take their questions, we prioritize them, even if they're not necessarily in the topic that we're covering. But maybe for you, if most of your views are replay, maybe you should cater for people who show up later and make sure that it's not all about people who are live today, who are chatting and commenting in real time, but maybe it's for people who will be joining later and maybe like show better visuals and like better funnels for them where to find information and how to connect with you after you went live. Good stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. Here is the question from Trinity. Could I ask the AI with Restream how much time I spent on a certain game? I think so, right? Like nothing stops you from asking that because we do track watched minutes, right? And we of course track streaming time. So if you are accurate with your titles, if your title is correct in Restream, then we should be able to basically.
I think actually this is more of a gaming landscape research question. That AI could know something about what is the best practice, how much time you should spend. And I think maybe the question is much more about the stream structure. So I think everybody's just like kind of discovering with LLMs what type of questions can you ask and what type of questions should you ask. I think like the more time we spend there, you can not only do much more research, but now since Restream is there with you while you're like doing this thinking work, you can already put it in action, right? So whatever like will be the outcome of any of your research conversation, or any conversation for that matter, you can like put it in action. Like for example, put that in my title, or like that sounds great. And maybe once we have other like MCP capabilities, it could really inform the stream structure.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how yet, but like I think the thinking is correct. So definitely, you can ask your AI anything you like.
Yeah.
The trick with the MCP is that the answer can be used, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very specific question about Restream chat on the website player, but I do want to try to spin it in terms of like how we could potentially use AI to help you with this. So the question is, can I take my shared chat out of Restream and put it on my website to export those live chats? So the original answer to that question a few years ago would be like, that doesn't exist yet. We don't integrate live chat with your website because website works as an RTMP, as a customer RTMP destination, right? Like it's a one-way street. But now when I'm thinking about AI and the things that you can do and ask AI to pull, like it's not going to be real time, of course. But could you potentially, I don't know, I'm just trying to think about like what could be the application if you could use Claude or ChatGPT as you are streaming to maybe create some kind of like a chat summaries that you could potentially add to your website, or like, yeah, what would be a good kind of interesting workflow here?
So we don't currently have a tool to export all of the chat. We only have the chat metrics that you can see from the MCP. I think at some point this is on our roadmap to add, so you could pull the entire
the actual comments, yeah.
The actual comments, or maybe even the transcript. Like I imagine like that could be very interesting to do your analysis on top of. And with chat, so we do have chat export already. I think it's already useful to go ahead and export it from your account, just as you can do with the transcript, and then just like drag and drop it to your AI assistant and ask questions. I think like you can start there if you're already in Claude, but we also have a built-in Ask AI analytics feature. So inside the analytics, you could kind of ask those questions on top of the chat, like which messages, I don't know, what was the sentiment in my during my stream in the chat, for example. It could tell you something. The limitation there is that it's limited to one stream, right? So if you want to do some sort of comparative analysis, you might need more. That's where you might want to like export it, drop it in your LLM, and start like growing the context. I think we mentioned that earlier with Anya, that like with the AI assistants, the context is just like much bigger, especially if you want to look at a span of like different streams and then do like some huge task across all of them in bulk, like check their views, check the titles, whatever that may be. I think that's where the assistant really comes in. So there are ways to do it, just like not fully autonomous yet, but these are the types of feedback that we're definitely looking for, to inform our roadmap that we're going to also talk about here. It's basically like, what else would you like to have close while you're like in the context of your AI system?
Absolutely. John is checking in from LinkedIn saying, I'm just joining now. I need to catch the archive for replay. Speaking of replay, how many people are going to watch the replay? We're still going, John. So you're actually catching something fun. I was about to transition to what's up next for our Restream MCP server, but I do find, I found this hot take question. So I guess, why not? I'll take it. If the future is us taking advice from non-humans, we are screwed. So because we talked a lot about how asking AI to analyze, to advise, to recommend, to research, and to kind of like guide how you shape and build your content is a good idea. But of course, there's some hesitation and anxiety around AI. What's your take on that, Matt? And then I'll add my 5 cents, and then I promise we'll start wrapping up.
I don't think like I can comment on that. All I can say is I believe in human creativity, and hopefully we'll persevere.
I do think that taking advice from non-humans is not a bad idea when it comes to data, when it comes to stats, when it comes to analytical things. I would not take advice on creative solutions and like what is your creativity, what's your uniqueness, what's your authentic angle, what makes you an interesting, exciting creator. That is not a good idea because AI doesn't know. You know better. But when it comes to analyzing numbers and crazy amount of data and like what other channels are doing, what is SEO, what is a good strategy, right? Because when you think about content, and I really drilled into that a lot in the past couple of months, when you think about content, it's two components, right? It's your creative take, like what you can deliver. And that's extremely human. That is only what you can do as an artist, as a creator, as a person, as a human. And then there is a very programmatic part of it, which is the algorithm, which is like hitting the right keywords, doing the right time, being consistent, kind of like following the thing, like, I don't know, showing up in the right format, right? Showing up in the good quality. Like those are very technical and like programmatic things. And for that stuff, I think taking advice from non-humans is just a way to speed it up. And that's a way to get a little bit of competitive edge in the Red Sea of content that we live in, because the world is connected, the internet is out there. We are competing with a bunch of other creators. We are competing with a bunch of SaaS tools, right? So using AI to speed up computation, I think, is a good advice. But using AI to entirely control your creative process, yeah, then you're screwed. You can try it, but it's probably not going to work. So that's my take on the hot take, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. What's next? Let's have a look. So we have a few things that we are thinking about shipping soon. Matt, would you like to give us a little bit of a what should we look forward to?
For sure. So I think like what it's really good at right now is getting the context out of your account and giving you a little bit of action. It can perform a few actions, but we want to definitely grow that capability. So for example, we want to allow the MCP to create stream thumbnails or create things from a link. So for example, if you have a link from for a video in your Google Drive, you could upload it to a storage and then potentially schedule it to go live. And that could be a whole automation on its own, right? Right now, like that whole workflow is not super smooth yet. You still need to go and like upload the video yourself in Restream. But once we'll have this capability, you could like automate it. So we like you can do a lot with a link. You could take an image and turn it into a thumbnail. As I said, you could upload a video to storage. You could use that video on that link as a source for clips. This is actually highly requested. So basically, any video you just have a link to, we could clip it for you automatically. So there's some things there. And then I think like on the post-production and analysis side, I already mentioned, personally, I'd love to see access to chat messages and transcript, because that's a lot of like text data that the LLM can play with. I already like explored that topic a little bit when we were building the Ask AI analytics feature. Basically the use cases are really limitless once you have the actual content. If there was speech in your live stream, it's much more difficult to do with, for example, a musical stream. In terms of transcribing that, obviously we can do that if there's no speech recognized, but we could still tell you something about the sentiment of your audience based on chat, for example. So I think like those are really, really interesting areas. And to be honest, I really loved that idea that came today from the chat about the chat assistant. So
Yeah.
somehow, having either autonomous tasks or like some simplified automations for managing the chat. So for example, maybe even replying, like I'm not sure like whether I would be comfortable. Oh, sorry, my camera is off again. This keeps happening. Continuity. There we go. Yeah. So as I was saying, like I would love to build a chat co-host or assistant. But before we let it reply to your chat messages, we definitely need to like rigorously test it. But it would be really, really cool, especially for those like one-man shows where when you need to be razor focused on your live stream, but still kind of want to talk to your audience at the same time. If the assistant had enough of flair and your personality, maybe we could do it. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Well, this is our show today. We are going to wrap up. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. We had a lot of great questions. I see that the chat was very active. This is what we love seeing. This is my favorite thing when people are participating, giving their hot takes, showing their use cases. Please continue doing that. Even after the show, you can still comment under this video, and we will see you next Wednesday. Today, our co-host was Christian. Romari was clipping for us, and Natalie was the mode in YouTube, and she did an amazing job. She is new to this. So thank you so much for being so awesome. And thank you very much for my co-host, Matt, for hanging out with me today. That was really good conversation. I really enjoyed that. You did great.
Anytime, of course. Thank you, Anya.
Awesome.
Great to
Thank
be here.
you, everybody. And we will see you next Wednesday. And definitely check out that MCP server. I'm just going to put this link here. And as we play some music for our thank you screen, we encourage you to make sure you check it out and let us know how it worked for you. So thank you so much and bye.